Hello, my name is Babatunde IG Lawal. I'm the principal partner, Harlem. This video discusses the data protection and privacy in the Nigerian telecommunications sector. The reasons data privacy is supremely important in the telecom sector are many. Talk about the urgent need to protect the integrity, confidentiality, and availability of personal information, then you are spot on. We talk of confidentiality of data in the sense of making sure that personal information is given watertight protection from unauthorized disclosure or access. Protection of availability of personal information in the sense of ensuring that personal information is accessible at all times, while protection of integrity refers to ensuring that personal information is accurate and complete. Since the telecoms industry collects, processes, and stores a massive number of personal data of its subscribers, including their call logs, messages, and location data, which can be used to track their movements, obtain relevant information about them, identify individuals, and even monitor their communication activities. The need to ensure the protection of subscribers' privacy rights is one concern that grabs and should normally grab all service providers completely in the guts. Imagine every now and again, the telecoms industry has become a prime target for cyber attack, from criminals seeking to steal personal information for malevolent purposes. Taken as a whole, therefore, the concept of data protection as recognized under Article 12 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights refers to precautionary measures put in place to ensure the privacy and confidentiality of subscribers' data from unauthorized access, acquisition, processing, alteration, or loss. In Nigeria, it goes without saying that the telecoms industry has quite a number of regulations and standards relating to data privacy. First, to talk about data privacy in Nigeria without mentioning the pivotal role being played by the Nigerian Data Protection Commission (NDPC) is like talking of Hamlet without the Prince of Denmark. The NDPC was founded in 2023 to play a vital role in the enforcement of the Nigerian Data Protection Act of 2023, which is the pivotal regulation on data protection in Nigeria. The NDPC was formerly a parastatal under the National Information Technology Development Agency, that is the NITDA, but became independent with the enactment of the Nigerian Data Protection Act of 2023. The 2023 Act contains provisions ensuring privacy rights in telecommunications. We should also remember that Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria, as amended, already laid a foundation for the fundamental right to privacy of citizens when they utilize telecom services. Therefore, in the case of MTN Nigeria Communications Limited and Godfrey Eneye, the appeal court held that a service provider's collection and processing of a subscriber's personal data will be unlawful and will constitute a violation of the right to privacy where it does not comply with the data protection principles stipulated under the law. In the MTN case, an Abuja division of the Court of Appeal held that MTN's granting unknown persons and organizations access to subscribers' telephone line for the purpose of disseminating unsolicited messages and adverts without the consent of the subscriber is a clear violation of that subscriber's privacy rights as provided under Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. In the case, Mr. Eneye, a lawyer and MTN subscriber, had proceeded to court against MTN, contending that his fundamental right to privacy was violated when MTN revealed and permitted his private line registered with MTN to be accessed by other organizations and persons who sent unsolicited and irritating messages to his line. The court overruled MTN's claim that it did not in any way disclose the subscribers' details to third parties, describing it as evasive. And then the court went further to maintain that MTN never showed that it notified Mr. Eneye to seek his consent before giving access to his line to the sender of the text messages. The court further held that MTN violated Rule 14 sub 1B 2 and 3 of the General Consumer Code of Practice Rules and the Consumer Code of Practice Regulation 2007, which were made pursuant to the powers given to the NCC under Section 70 of the Nigerian Communications Act of 2003. The two regulations require all service providers to maintain a directory inquiry facilities containing information of all their subscribers in Nigeria and allow access to same by third parties, but subject only to the prior notification of the subscriber. We also need to mention the Registration of Telephone Subscribers Regulations 2022, which provides a regulatory framework for the mandatory registration of subscribers and for the NCC's establishment, control, administration, and management of the central database, which is the property of the federal government and is kept with the NCC. Service providers are to collect, store, and transmit subscriber information to the central database in compliance with the regulations. Now, let's take a brief look at the Consumer Code of Practice Regulations 2007, which I will henceforward refer to as CCPR 2007, which also recognizes and reinforces the internationally accepted general principles on data privacy and protection. I must also mention that a new code of practice regulations is currently in draft and will be enacted into law anytime soon. For the purpose of this lecture, CCPR 2007 will be used, being the law in force, which establishes the general principles governing the protection of subscribers' personal data in the telecom sector. Now, let's take a look at paragraph 35 sub 1 of the General Consumer Code of Practice, established in Schedule 1 of the CCPR 2007, which gives the service providers the mandate to collect and maintain the personal data of subscribers only where it is reasonably required for their business purposes. But then it goes ahead to stipulate the data protection principles to which the collection and maintenance of the personal data of subscribers are subject. And then these include that such data must be processed in accordance with the subscriber's other rights. It must not be kept longer than necessary. It must be accurate. It must be relevant and not excessive. It must be fairly and lawfully collected and processed. And then last but not least, it must not be transferred to any other party except with the express consent of the subscriber as permitted by approval of the NCC or by applicable regulations. Also, the CCPR 2007 places obligations on service providers to publish their data protection policies in an accessible and easy to read manner, and also ensure that other service providers or third parties with whom they exchange such subscribers' personal data have implemented an appropriate policy for the protection of such data. According to paragraph 3 sub 2 of the General Consumer Code of Practice, a service provider in processing or disclosing a subscriber's personal data is to ensure that the data is accurate, relevant, and current for the purposes for which it is used. In closing, mention must also be made of the Cybercrimes Act of 2015, which under its section 38 requires service providers to preserve and retain traffic data and subscriber information for a period of 2 years and only release the information to law enforcement, and they must release the information to law enforcement agencies if they are requested to do so. Also, paragraph 8 of the NCC's guidelines for the provision of internet service requires internet service providers, that is the ISPs, to retain internet service related information and traffic or routing data routing data rather, for a minimum period of 12 months or any period directed by the NCC from time to time. For questions, any question you have on these lectures, please feel free to send in your email to biglaw@harlemsolicitors.com. Thank you for listening and best wishes from Harlem.